There are 3 types of assessments in the skills block curriculum. The benchmark assessments should be administered to all students at the beginning, middle, and end of the year. At the beginning of the year, these assessments help you determine students' current microphase and grade level proficiency for skills such as spelling and decoding. Mid-year and end-of-year administration help track progress and eventual mastery of grade level goals. The cycle assessments are the next type of assessment. These help you determine the mastery of skills taught in a given cycle, which is usually 5 days of instruction. In 2nd grade, cycle assessments are less frequent. The last type of assessment is optional. The daily assessment, called snapshots or exit ticket, depending on your grade level, can be used as a tool to check mastery of daily targets. The assessments measure skills outlined in the Common Core State Standards, both the Reading Foundation Standards and the language standards associated with spelling and letter formation and the phases. The results of the assessments help you identify the particular microphase a student is in. This interconnectedness of phases and standards and the curricular materials mean that assessment results are aligned to specific instructional materials from the curriculum. Let's focus more on benchmark assessments. Each benchmark assessment includes a teacher administration guidance document, a student scoring sheet, and student materials. All of these can be found in the resource manual beginning on page 59. These assessments are organized based on grade level paths, which are a list of appropriate assessments for a specific grade level. For example, we know that a 2nd grade student that is reading around the middle consolidated microphase doesn't need to be assessed on letter recognition and sounds. Similarly, as you can see here, a kindergarten student is likely not ready to be assessed on fluency. Take a look at the beginning of the year for kinder. We suggest that you start out with letter recognition and sounds and phonological awareness. By the end of the year, though, that same student should be already spelling and decoding as well. If you're lucky enough to have assessment data from the previous school year, you might choose to stray from the grade level path. For example, you might follow the kindergarten path for a 1st grade student that you know is currently performing below grade level in most skills. It's important to always use your best judgment. If a student is clearly frustrated, you might stop the benchmark assessment administration, for example. Now, you might have noticed that some of these assessments are bolded. These are called priority assessments. Priority assessments are those that can help you determine a microphase. This information is directly tied to cycles of instruction in the curriculum, helping you determine specific instruction that will meet the needs of your students or a group of students. You'll learn more about this process in sections 4 and 8. If your district or school requires you to administer other assessments that are similar to skills block assessments, it's not necessary to duplicate. We strongly recommend that you administer all of the priority assessments, though, because of the strong correlation of the results with specific cycles of instruction. This will help you use the curricular materials effectively and target your instruction to the needs of your students. Moving on to cycle assessments. You'll get a chance to explore an example of one of those in a few minutes. For now, what is important to know is that these assessments help you track students' mastery of what has been taught during the whole group lessons. In kindergarten, these assessments don't begin until later in the year when students are ready to start spelling and decoding. In 1st grade, cycle assessments happen every week. This may seem like a lot of assessing, but we've taken that into consideration and built in extra time on those days for small group instruction so that teachers can assess each group. By the time a student is in 2nd grade, they are being assessed on spelling, decoding, and fluency, all lengthy assessments. So in this grade, cycle assessments are less frequent, giving you more time for instruction in between each administration. Daily assessments are optional tools that we provide to help you measure mastery of daily targets. You might not have time to use these every day with every student, though you might use them more frequently with below grade level students, for example, or a group of students that you noticed struggling with a particular skill during whole group. In kindergarten and 1st grade, these assessments are called snapshots and are basically a checklist. In 2nd grade, they are called exit tickets. Developmentally, these students are ready to produce something to show their mastery. The exit tickets are usually a written product of some kind, aligned with the daily target. And that's a basic overview of the assessments in the skills block. We are sure that each type of assessment will serve you well as you guide your students toward mastery.